What size jars do you recommend? I sometimes buy 8 to 12 ounce bulk. All right, mason jars. This is a pint. I can squeeze 8 ounces of bulk in here. You pack it real tight. You can, for the loose cut, you can get it in here. Just to make sure this ring on top is clean and the top of this jar is clean when you put this lid on there. Now, if you buy 8 ounce, like C&D 8 ounce containers, what I do, I leave them in that container. When I'm ready to smoke it, I pop it. I take what I want out, usually 2 ounces, and then I'll jar the other 6, and then I'll label it on there. What's left? The date, the tin date. I know there's 6 ounces left in here. That's what I do. I have a section like this jar is kind of like my working jar section. Because I have 8 ounces in here, you know, just aging. So I also use these little ones. I can put 2 ounces in here fairly loosely. So if I buy 2 ounce bulk of something I want to try or whatever, I can put it in here. I'll just cut the label off and tape it right on. Where do we buy good pipe tobacco now? Well, it depends on where you're located at. I'm located here in the United States. We do have brick and mortar shops. So if you have a brick and mortar shop, a pipe shop you can go into. Sometimes cigar shops have, you know, pipe stuff. Or you go online. Now, yes, there's certain states that can't ship to due to the laws that have been implemented on it. It seems like either some states will go, you can't ship tobacco to that state, period. Recently, a lot of states are opting out of that and just charging a tobacco tax on top of the sales tax, so, and on top of your shipping. So there's smokingpipes.com, that's probably one of the most reputable ones out there. There's Pipes and Cigars, there's Tobacco Pipes. There's some other small places too. Some other small shops have online stores also, but they're about the 3 biggest ones of online retailership. But brick and mortar, you can physically see the tins, physically see the house blends and stuff if you have one nearby. Outside the US, you're just going to have to look it up. I know Europe, you know, there's a lot of tobacco places in Europe. Canada, I have no clue. Australia, I heard their prices are astronomical over there. So do some research in your own country. But online or brick and mortar. I don't see them around very much anymore, but what do they use to create a meerschaum line briar pipe? Is a bowl carved from a block, or is it the shavings, which would be the pressed, formed into a bowl to fit inside the briar? I'm not 100% sure of the process that is. Yeah, and you're right, you really don't see them too much anymore. You can go on eBay every once in a while, they'll pop up, but I've never owned one. Just the sheer fact of meerschaum inside of a briar does not make much sense to me, because you have 2 different expansion rates. You have the meerschaum, which really doesn't move at all, and then you have the briar, which swells up. So what's going to happen? It's going to swell up, and it will swell like closing the inside of it too, because it's swelling all around. And it's gonna crack that meerschaum on the inside. So bad design, in my opinion. I can just take one look at it. When I first looked at them, I knew that was a bad design. I just stayed far away from them. So, but yeah, you're right. I don't see them too often anymore, at least new. So yeah, if you have one, just put it on your mantle as a showpiece. Just curious, is smoking a pipe like smoking a cigar, or like a normal rolling tobacco. Neither. Not like smoking any of that. It's its own hobby in itself. It's completely different. Normal rolling tobacco, that's usually that's cut real fine, and yeah, you can smoke that in a pipe, but it's cut real fine so you can roll it into a cigarette, and you have that little thin strip that you can smoke out of, a cigarette form basically. Cigars, they're a completely different animal. Yeah, I do smoke both. I do smoke the cigars. I do smoke pipes. I don't touch the rolling paper. That's not me. Cigarettes are not me. Even though they have regular pipe tobacco that goes into the rolling paper, it's just not the same. You have the paper burning. That's for one. But the cigars, there's tons of cigars out there. And like I said, it's a completely different animal. It's a lot easier. There's really nothing really to think about. And I've heard this comparison many years ago. And I always remembered it. Every once in a while, when I get this question, I tell them this because it's easy to understand. A pipe is like having a wife. A cigar is like a hooker. Like a one-night stand. So that's the easiest way I can explain it. The pipe, you have the pipe, and you don't throw it away. The cigar, when you're done with the butt, and there's nothing there. You throw it out. It's done. It's completely gone. The only thing left you have is the cutter and the lighter, obviously. So that's they're nothing. They're nothing of the same thing, even though it's still tobacco, or they're a completely different animal.